Dear youth, distinguished friends at cause, I would like to wholeheartedly uh, greet you all with love, respect, and longing. As much as possible, we try my best to participate to the provincial congresses. And so far, at many provincial congresses, we have met with many members and many people of various cities. And this week, due to G20 summit, leaders summit, we have felt a need to connect to you through video conferencing and share our thoughts and love. As you know, due to the pandemic, there has been many restrictions about many activities ongoing in our country. When it comes to the political rallies and congresses, there's no restriction in place. However, to support the combat against the virus, as of the next week, we will be postponing the congresses. The dates for the new congresses to be held will be set in accordance with the course of the pandemic, and this week's Congress preparations were already made before, and we complying with the three rules of wearing masks, social distancing, and personal hygiene, organize all those properly. To overcome this global pandemic, we have to do what falls for our share. We are aware of the financial and, of course, the spiritual restrictions related with the pandemic. The enterprises or workplaces, the people working there, artisans, craftsmen, people receiving services from all those are, of course, facing certain challenges, and we're fully aware of the challenges they're faced with. The students, teachers, as well as the people under the age of 20 and over the age of 65, who are to abide by certain restrictions related with lockdown, do face difficulties, and we're fully aware of their challenges as well. However, leaving home in the face of this pandemic will be, of course, much more challenging if we do not impose those restrictions, and that's why we opt for those rather. And we hope to bring the spread of the virus to lower levels, the targets we desire, and overcome this predicament and leave this process behind us. Turkey has been one of the countries that has distinguished itself relatively positively from other countries, and with the sensitivity and support of our people, we will be breaking this surge in the waves, and a bright future will await us. And as you know, we have started a new era for legal and economic reforms by way of improving our legal jurisdiction infrastructure by increasing production and employment rates. We are determined to claim a good position in the post-pandemic period. PARTİ has adorned our country with unique, unprecedented works and services, and in the reconstruction of the global and economic structure and order, we are ready, and we have as the only party who has the ambition and the courage to do so. We will further strengthen our country, and we will definitely make our 2023 targets actualized. And we will not get enough only of that, but we will leave a strong and great country to our children and entrust our country to them. Therefore, with our young people across the country, we need to hold tightly on our togetherness, our fraternity, our unity. For our nation to live in welfare, prosperity, freedom, our hope, our single hope is, of course, yet again, AK Party itself. From the chair of the party to its local administrators and local governors, we are fully aware that we have such a huge responsibility on our shoulders, and we should not forget that even for a single second. From our inception on, we have always trusted in the support by our people and the grace of God, and this is how we marched forward and emerged victorious and claimed many victories along this path. And in the forthcoming periods, the only support we care about is, of course, the support that will be bestowed for us by our nation. And without any exception, we will be reaching out all the citizens across our country, and our struggle, what we have done so far, and again the design for the future of our country should be well expressed to each and every citizen in all corners of the country, until there's not a single person whose support we do not get or whose vote we do not garner. We will continue to work day and night and relentlessly. In such a holy cause, there's no place for laziness or lethargy or conceitfulness, ignorance, personal interests, or whatsoever. Those who consider themselves higher above the party itself and the nation will only fail. We are servants for our nation, and thank God the kindness shown to us by our nation is ever growing. With the mobilization we have started, we have increased the figure of our members over 11.2 million. The number of our women's and youth branches, the number of members in all those branches has increased even beyond what we targeted. And every passing year, our purpose is to further deepen the love and sharing we have with our nation more and more by making new members join our ranks. And we make it turn into a feast of democracy. And therefore, I would like to extend my gratitude to all brothers and sisters who assumed roles from the foundation of the party on to our day. And I pray for the mercy of God on the souls of all those colleagues, all those friends who passed away. And I wish the best of success to all colleagues and friends who will take roles in AK Party ranks and in our organization and congresses. From 2002 on, all the movements AK Party started have become successful and been finalized despite all the obstacles put in front of us. And those who understood that they could not set up walls or place obstacles in front of us, then opted for other choices to push Turkey onto the field. And from terrorist organizations to coup makers, they utilized everyone for their own interests. However, with our nation, we have disappointed, foiled all the plans and traps set in front of us. And sometimes recklessly, sometimes heinously, those people still stood in front of us over and over again. And we have strengthened our unity and togetherness within the country and outside the country by presenting our political and military power. We have stood against all those acts. By the Syrian border, they wanted to surround us, but with the operations we launched, we broke their chains. In the Eastern Mediterranean, they wanted to confine us, but through the drilling and exploration activities we started, we again made those plans be disappointed. In Libya, some used the coup makers in particular and were engaged in a different kind of game. By supporting the legitimate government in Libya, we again frustrated their plans. By urging the Armenians, they started another move in Caucasus. But with our Azerbaijani brothers and sisters, we enjoyed the happiness of victory that will last for years. and those people who do not have any words to utter, any vision to show, then started acting on political engineering. And inshallah, they will fail in that too, those people. And despite all the challenges ahead of us, from the west to the east, from the north to the south, in every corner of our country, we will continue to make our country thrive, ever grow, and become richer and richer. And we have initiated a new era for those purposes. Our purpose is not to fight with anyone within the country and outside the country. Our purpose is not to disrupt the legitimate stands of anyone or violate the rights or rules of anyone. On the contrary, our purpose is to stand in a stronger solidarity with our friends and allies. And we expect the EU to deliver on the promises they have made for us and not be engaged in discrimination, or at least we expect them not to be a plaything for the hostilities shown against us. We consider ourselves, we see ourselves not anywhere else but in Europe, and we think about building our future with Europe for global and regional issues. For the resolution of all those, of course, we are willing to actively use our position. With Russia and Iran, the countries with whom we have deep historical relations, of course, we cannot ignore our ties. For the Islam world and with the Turkish world and Muslim world, sometimes together and sometimes separately, we have had very deep relations. The regional pacts in the world, for those pacts, almost for all of them, we're willing to improve our cooperation. From Syria to Libya, everywhere we are present, we are working for solutions based on territorial integrity. And, of course, Turkey cannot be excluded out of this picture through certain arguments that are based on lies. And no one has the right to threaten Turkey by way of using those arguments or isolating or excluding Turkey. Our stance, our understanding is only based on the principle of caring for the oppressed and the discriminated, and we expect everyone to adopt the same approach towards us. Any country or organization that stand in dignity cannot be a plaything for the terrorist organizations or certain circles that attack. And democracy, rights, freedom, and rights, justice, economic development, all of those are to be achieved, and we defend all those, not just because some people ask, but because our people ask for those values. And we know that there are some who bring it to the level of imposing sanctions, and we are saddened to see that. Through diplomacy, dialogue, everything can be resolved, we believe, and that's why we keep all these channels of diplomacy and dialogue open, and we will keep those channels, of course, open. And we have always taken steps forward towards the people who approach us positively, and we will never refrain from walking towards them in a positive fashion. For AK Party, as our assembly, and we have been working for 18 years with great enthusiasm, and similarly we will continue to work in the same fashion in the upcoming periods. And you, as the members of our organization, will be the driving engine, if you will, throughout this process. With all those thoughts in mind, I hope that the ordinary provincial congress in Kütahya, Afyon, Batman, and Siirt provinces will be successful, and I wish the best for all those colleagues who will take responsibility throughout the congresses. I would like to thank you all, each and every one of you. Thanks a lot. Stay in health.